going to do with it all? How do I get it to you? It's spilling over all over the place. Copiousness. Overflowing abundance of happiness. This is God. Meditate Him in prayer. Morning devotions. Let's do the meditate part first. Who won yesterday? Who won yesterday? Evil? Goodness? Helping others? Or selfishness? Who won the day for you yesterday? Are you done? Did you do anything for the animals yesterday? The suffering animals. Exploited. Ruined. Lives ruined. Did you do anything for them to stop that? I think we sent $5 to Bite-A-Weave for the cats and dogs. And we sent $5 to American International College, and we sent $5 to James Dixon. Why? I don't know why. It just seemed like a good thing to do. Did anybody say anything nice about you? Did you say anything nice to anybody? Just a little tiny nice thing? The blonde kitty cat from next door came to see us yesterday. What a great kitty cat. And blonde. Really blonde. And he rubs, what a specialist. He rubs against your ankles. And he'll be rubbing against my ankles, and he'll look over there and he'll see some more ankles, and he'll go rub against those. I fed him your vegan cat food, and he liked it.com. How much? Oh, I'd say about 2-3 tablespoons full. Did you leave him more? I did. Is it gone? I haven't been out. Did you do everything that your conscience told you to do? What is my prayer to you? Meditate Him in prayer. I'll sing you the hymn in a minute. The prayer is this. Go alone by yourself to an inner sanctum and listen to the God that's inside of you. Listen to the God that's inside of you. There you will find happiness, wealth, success, attainment, goodness, peace, joy, success. Everything you've been looking for, everywhere else. It's not out there. In the sense that, well, it's out there in that you're helping others. But it starts inside, where you learn to do that. What do you know about it, Glendora? You keep saying you. Well, what about yourself? I need your help. I need your help. I need your prayer. But I am faithful about that. God, meditate Him in prayer every morning. An hour, maybe a couple hours. Part of which is talking to you. Did you listen and list? Did you go and listen to your conscience? And did you list what it told you to do? And are you up to date? You got backlogs? Procrastinations? Let's get rid of those. Let's wipe those away. Let's go out and do it. Did you eat vegan? No animal products, don't use animal products, and that includes honey and silk and all of the things that animals are exploited for. Stay vegan. Stay away from all animal products. Fur. That's nice fur that you have.com. You have a lovely fur coat. Oh, it's so soft. And you have underneath fur that's as soft as a... the suit that I had on yesterday, the snowman suit. We have polar suits to wear for you pretty soon. Polar suits. The bear is so sweet. That's why I love you so much.com, because when I was a little girl I had teddy bears, and my love went into them. And then it just came out of them and went into you. Because you're soft like a teddy bear. Did you count your blessings? 40 blessings every hour. Either count blessings or rejoice. That's so much happiness. I have to pass it on to you. Rejoice, ye pure in heart. Rejoice, give thanks and sing. You did what your conscience said. You did the best you could. Rejoice, give thanks. Rejoice, give thanks and sing. Now, every day, your daily blessings, your hourly blessings, the blessings that are there every minute. Now, this is not all of them, but this is many of them, 15 of them. The universe, born, you, alive, you, healthy, food, clothing, a home, freedom and independence, no catastrophes, finances, education, TV career, your business, your jobs, your spouses, you, Franklin Buell, your family, on Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day, this is Thanksgiving hour. Every hour we give thanks, all year around. I'm thankful for you.com that you're so healthy, that you're 91 years old and you're so content, and you're very, very happy in your little envelope box with a lamp on it. She loves a lamp on her. I would think it would be too hot, but she just loves it. It is so nice to be able to help Gregory, and his being able to help me. He can do 40 things that I can't do. And he does them, and he does them well, and he does them with good cheer. BronxNet, Bernardo slowed down, talked like a normal human being. And he's beginning to appreciate, I think, that the Chat with Glendora is the longest running public access television show in the world, thanks to you. And that it's 47 TV stations from Boston to San Diego, 11,780 programs in 46 years. And I think that's because of the very smooth operation of one Robert Jackson, who lives in Yonkers. The world owes a lot to you, Robert Jackson. You're one of the best I know. And great sense of humor. Love to hear him laugh, and he laughs so readily. And big news, Jason at Cablevision Newark has found a young man who wants to sponsor a Chat with Glendora, or somebody in his household. He can't sponsor because he's a producer, but somebody in his household can sponsor Chat with Glendora in Newark, and Newark is a big place. And so we will make those people happy, won't we? Or we will try. Timmy Owen came and brought .com her vegetarian vegan food for the month of the rest of the month and part of December. It was only $88, but then he forgot to give Gloria her wham. And so, all right, I said, you can take .coms, and that took $8 off the bill, so it made it 78, 86 to 78, yeah. And I gave him $6 for gasoline. And then I made a proposal. Gregory and I were working here so hard on those in-calls and working so hard on the advertiser, and we sent out a beautiful, eloquent message written by the Christian Vegetarian Society about God and animals and what Jesus said about animals. So Gregory typed that up and sent the email. Deadline Tuesday at 4 o'clock instead of Friday at 4 o'clock, but we made it. Anyhow, I said, Timmy, I make a proposal. You take some of those products that you just left for .com and take the tofurkey gravy, which seems to me a new product, vegan, and take some, we have loads of green vegetables in the freezer. He chose peas. And take my main potatoes, we had plenty of those, and make the three of us a dinner. And slow he did, and boy is he a good cook. And we all ate together. Did you see the video of that? And then Gregory and I tried to straighten out the computer phone. Well, here's the newest problem on the computer phone. No space. No space. With an SD card in there that's 128 gig, no space. Gregory's smart enough, he saw the people at Walmart do it, and he learned how to take something off of the memory and put it onto the SD card, and that frees up the memory, and he got it so he could read the Gmail. And Sandy Sunshine likes the snowman suit, and Sandy Sunshine likes Debbie Holden's speech and what she's doing, and Sandy Sunshine liked something else. She keeps right on top of the program. I think the program is better, not because of anything I've done, but because of Rita Lilly. Her attention to the program is better. You know, it's like the courts. When I used to monitor the courts, the judges were so much better when we were monitoring them because somebody was watching. It really wakes you up if you know somebody is watching. And we know that Lily is watching. And we know that many others are watching very closely, daily. So that's going to make the program a whole lot better, we hope. Then we went outdoors, and Timmy did the dishes too. He does a great job washing dishes. Timmy is a Seventh-day Adventist, a very fine person, as most of them are. At least all of them that I know are. Yes, that's right. I was going to think of one exception, but it wasn't he, it was his son. He was okay, and he was overwhelmed by his son who did bad things. So pray for them. Then we went outdoors to test the Canon photo capacity, still photo capacity. The video capacity is prestigious. And outdoors, with the photo capacity, we took pictures of the white snowman suit. Did you tell that joke to anybody that I told you yesterday? Two snowmen were talking, and one says, I haven't seen our friend Herb around lately, have you? And the other one says, no, not since he went to Florida for the winter. And that's when we saw the blonde cat. And then finally at 3 o'clock, even though he wanted to go at 8 o'clock, Gregory went to the museum. He's trying to finish it up. And he did bring back a video, and I'll tell you about that as soon as I finish this side of the day, when 17 telephone calls were done and the telephoning was up to date. And I'll show you the video too of the decision to strike the A rack of DVD recorders. The A rack had 6 DVD recorders in it. Decided to strike those. Keep the top 2 and move them over to rack B, thereby eliminating the need for another monitor, because the whole stack now will be fed into the big monitor, on which the audio and the video are so much better as to compared to this. And the new monitor that we bought, and the element's so sweet, but I can't figure out how to get an audio boost on it. I can't hear it over there. So we eliminated that, and the new one replaced. Rita Lilly called back, and we deep communion, significant level of conversation for 40 minutes. Exercise the body for Monday, exercise the body for Tuesday. Restack. And make just column, what used to be column B, now it's the only rack. And column A, and when Gregory came home, I asked him, Gregory, if I should say to you, you can have the 2 monitors, the brand new one, and the old one who did such good service, and you can have like 9 DVD, VHS combo recorders, and sell them at a flea market. If I should say you could, what would you say? Yeah, $10 to $20 probably on each one. So, I said, okay, I'll think about it. And I was waiting for an answer. 2-3 hours later, the answer came, just before I went to bed at 9:30, and I said, yes, take them. He can't take them. He needs room in his truck, to make room in his truck to take the 9 DVDs. But he could take the 2 monitors. Goodbye. Thank you for your service. Well, Glendora, isn't the purpose of the museum for you to keep the equipment and the paraphernalia? Shouldn't you have kept those monitors? If people ever see the value of a chat with Glendora and what it's trying to do, it will be very, very important in years and years and generations to come. And every little piece of equipment will be a valuable specimen of this area, What a chat with Glendora is trying to do. So, Gregory came home and played me the video that he took of the museum, and I will play it for you. And he worked so hard, and the colors are so pretty, and the boxes look so nice. But the final touch is not there, so he couldn't have his $400. His $400 is waiting for him in the bank. He can't have it. And I begin to feel sorry for him, because he worked, like 6 hours yesterday. He worked like 8 hours Monday. Saturday he worked like 9 hours. Friday he worked like 6 or 7. Trying so hard, but the final touch is just not there. So I said no 400 next week. And here's what I'll do, folks. I'll go over with him and I'll help him. It's got to have that final perfect touch, where there's a place for everything and everything is in its place. And it's neat, tidy, trim, organized. So then what did you do? Well, then we worked for 15 minutes on the die instructions. And Gregory took his pledge, and Glendora took her pledge. She will pay Gregory now for the things that he's doing in advance for the museum after Glennie's spirit goes. and the body is recycled. And we made it, and I said, listen, we have to write this down and make a record of it. And I said, that's dumb. Let's audio tape it. It's much better than written. Well, that's dumb too. Video it. So we made the first video. We'll play that for you. It's very, very pellucid as to what is to be done. No ambiguity. It's not ambivalous. It's not doubtful. It's not equivocal. But we will play that for you. Now it's 9:30 and Glennie's usually in bed and asleep by 7:30. So we go through the contacts. I can't see the dial anymore, so the contacts have to be on the phone contact list so that I can ask Google to dial them for me. Thank you, Google. Thank you, Google. Hundreds of times. And that took like 40 minutes. And then the last job was the afternoon in-mail, and the article was in the advertiser that we sent in last week about what we're going to have for Thanksgiving. No bird, no turkey, no killing, no slaughter, no evil. We're going to have a Worthington Food roasted turkey roll made of grain and delicious with all the fixings of Thanksgiving. Well, I finally gave up and went to bed at 9:30, and Gregory went off at 10 o'clock back home to come up here next Tuesday. Is that a good day, dear? Many pure minutes? Oh yes, for you. What is my prayer for you? My prayer for you, I could do it here on the timer. My prayer for you is that you go alone to your sanctuary and you listen to the voice that's inside of you. And I will send you. That's 2 minutes rolling. I will send you 2 minutes of my own vitality and my life and my joy and peace. And how I got all that happiness. I'll send that all to you. Just to push you over the hump and get you to go to your sanctuary and listen to the God that's inside of you, and then everything will be peachy corker. Everything will be peachy fine. What is the hymn? I see Jesus as what? Helping others. Helping others calls me, o'er the tumult of life's wild and restless sea. Get rid of that. Every day his sweet voice soundeth, saying, Christian, follow me. Jesus calls us o'er the tumult of life's wild and restless sea. Day by day his sweet soundeth, saying, Christian, follow me. Saying, Christian, follow me. And I'll pray for you tonight as I lie in bed. And will you please pray for Glennie? Now, folks, I have to do these one at a time. My mind can't carry them all. So, first of all, Paul is talking about a grace. He's talking about a grace. And this is in his second letter to the Corinthians, to Corinth. And it appears in chapter 8, and it appears in verses 5, 6, and 7. And he's talking about this grace. And this they did not as we hoped, but first gave their own selves to the Lord. First gave their own selves to the Lord. That I can understand very clearly, can't you? Give yourselves to helping others. That is the grace I believe he's talking about. And then verse 6 is, insomuch that we desired Titus, that as he had begun, so he would also finish in you the same grace. Let's finish it. Let's finish making it a habit, making it our nature. Titus was a young man that Paul converted and was such a good Christian. I speak not by commandment, Paul says, but by occasion of the forwardness of others, and to prove the sincerity of your love. That is the greatest love, the love of helping others. Therefore, as you abound in everything, you will abound in this great happiness, in faith and utterance and knowledge and in all diligence. I love those words, don't you? Don't they all apply to helping others? Abound in faith and knowledge and in all diligence and in utterance and in your love to us, that's your love for helping others. See that you abound in this grace also. And that grace is doing the one thing that you should do all the time. Doing the one thing that we should do all of the time. You might take that to your sanctuary, and you might think about that, and you might come up with much more than what has just been said now. That would be lovely. Again, that was Paul's letter, second to the people in Corinth, 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verses 5, 6, 7, 8, throughout there around. This is the great word we started with yesterday, the word ability, power to perform. Just a second, I think I can read it here. Also, ability. The quality or state of being able. Are you able to do it? You will be. When? You get rid of self and go out and help others. The power to perform physically, morally, legally, intellectually, and I would add spiritually. The capacity give you the capacity. It will give us let's see if I can think of some of them. Well, there's talent, and there's sustainability, and capability, and caliber. I will look those words up for you, and tomorrow I'll list them for you. They're lovely words to meditate about. Now, I have to shut down and go find your jokes for today. Go to black. Literally. A man, folks, is bragging about his hometown, and he said that he's talking about all the great things about his hometown, and he was asked, well, were there any big men born there? And he says, no, just babies. And he said that it was so small that the Masons and the Knights of Columbus formed a coalition, and they call themselves the Masonites. And he said it's a town that has the lowest death rate of any town in the United States. Why? Nobody wants to be caught dead there. And he says it's a typical small town. It consists of a grocery store, a post office, and a speed trap. Does that remind you of any town around here? A woman said that on her birthday that she had just turned 34, and her husband says, that's right, last year she was 43. And you know you're getting old because everything hurts, and if it doesn't hurt, it's because it doesn't work. And the senior citizen was being interviewed by the TV reporter because she turned 100 years old, and she says, well, I don't know what all the fuss is about. All I did was grow old, and it took me a long time to do that. And the TV reporter says, optimistically, I'll be back next year. And she says, why not? You look healthy. Okay, I think that's all of the jokes for today. We really have to dig to find these. But it's a good thing. So we'll see you tomorrow, maybe? Well, who knows? And what is our hymn? Jesus calls us o'er the tumult of life's wild and restless sea. Day by day his sweet voice soundeth, saying, Christian, follow me.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello?
Hello, this is Glendora calling James Talbert.
Hi, Glendora.
Well, how are you, my dear friend?
I'm good.
Good. What can you tell me about when you were 9 years old on the SS Glendora TV show?
Well, you mean right now?
Yeah, right now.
Well, because o'clock your time. Oh no, it's 10 o'clock our time.
No,
Glendora, I'm in the middle. I'm doing a theater trailer for cable TV. I've got 6 of them to do. So I'm really, this is not a good time, but we can do it another time. Maybe.
oh, okay, but explain to me why you called me and said you could do it at 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving Eve.
Hold it just a second here.
And how are you folks? Tomorrow, folks, we go to the Red Robin. Red Robin. And we go there for a vegan potluck Thanksgiving dinner. A whole group of us. So, we'll wait for Mr. Talbot. But he did set up an appointment with me, 5 o'clock Standard Time, Eastern Standard Time, and 2 o'clock his time. Okie doke. What shall we do next? The in-mail. No. Let's do the telephoning. Yes, that's very important.
Call from Talbot.
Hi there, Jimmy.
I'm here. Well, I saw you get back to me to see if that time was all right.
Well, I did, and it didn't go through, Jimmy. It said, the telephone said, if you want to reply, press 8. And so I pressed 8 and I replied, so apparently it failed, huh?
Oh, God. I'm glad you told me that. I reorganized my phone to go to my cell phone, and it's all screwed up. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't get the message.
Oh, no, I think probably it could have failed from here. Okay, so when would you like to do it?
Well, you tell me. This is just a very unusual thing that I shot about 4 days ago, and it mushroomed into a bigger project than I thought. Well, let's see. Well, I can do it pretty much. I can do it. I can do it over the weekend.
Okay.
Sunday, Monday, whatever's best for you.
Sure. This is Wednesday, so when? What day would you like?
Well, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Saturday is a good one.
Great.
And what time Saturday?
Are you recording this when I call you again, or?
Yes, it's being recorded.
Oh, good. All right. Well, you tell me, because I'll be done with these in a couple days.
Now, do you like? Is 1 o'clock our time? Is that too early for you?
Oh, no.
And so that's 10 o'clock. That's 10 o'clock Pacific time.
Right. Saturday. That's fine.
All right then, and I will call you, James.
Okay. Well, the stupid phone thing. I've got to get. All right. You have the 424 number. Is that what you're calling on?
I don't know what a 424 number is. I'm calling on my phone.
No, I mean, what number are you calling me at?
What?
What number, when you call me, what number do you use?
Oh, I don't know, James. I can't see it, dear. It's the only number I have.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Well, I'll try to fix my phone problem by then. I'm sorry, but if you can't get through, I'll call you. But I'm going to shift it around, so this is too confusing for everyone.
Oh, okie doke.
All right, so we'll talk 10 a.m. my time on Saturday. And
Okay.
sorry for the phone confusion.
Okay. Let me tell you, when you get old, Jimmy, everything hurts, but if it doesn't hurt, that means it doesn't work.
I'm going to tell my friends that. away.
Okay, my dear. All right, my dear Jimmy. I will call you at 1 p.m. on Saturday. The let's see, that's 2022. The Saturday the 25th, isn't it, Jimmy?
Let's see here. Yes, it is.
Yeah, Saturday the 25th. I will call you at 1 p.m. and we will tell the people about the SS Glendora.
Oh, good. All right, so you're going to video yourself?
What, dear?
You're going to record yourself on video?
Yes.
Talking to me on the phone, that's great.
That's good.
All right, well, talk to you then over the weekend. Happy Thanksgiving.
I am thankful for you, Mr. James Talbot.
Oh, same here. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. The best laid plans of mice and men, Afghan Aglay. Well, I'm glad they had the opportunity to do it, and we will do that for you. The SS Glendora at a very special place, as did all live television in the early 1950s. And it's something that will never be seen again, so we thought we were obligated to give you that flavor that you could never see. It was a great thing. It was a great phenomenon. Do you know any other old jokes? Yeah, the woman, the TV reporter was interviewing a woman for she was 100 years old. She says, well, I don't see what all the fuss is about. All I did was to get old, and it took me a long time to do that. And he says, I'll see you next year. I'll come back and see you next year. And she said, why not? You look healthy. Second thought, folks, while we're here and all set up, why don't we do these in calls on Thanksgiving Eve? That would be a good thing to do. And the man who said that his hometown had the lowest death rate of any town in the country, why? Nobody wanted to be caught dead there. Now, in calls. So we go here, we go here, we go here. Now this will be a problem. I won't be able to see the numbers.
Please enter your password, then press pound. You have 3 new voice messages. You have 1 saved voice message. To listen to your messages, press 1. To send. First voice message. Dear Lady Glendora, I'm at the food market doing my last minute shopping, so I didn't pick up in time, but I will return this call to you once I'm in the house with my groceries. So God bless. I was thinking of you, and I'll tell you why when I call you back once I return home. I'll always love hearing from you, so I will return this call. All right, God bless you. Rita, bye-bye.
One of our closest friends,
End of message.
Rita Lilly
To
in
erase this
Brooklyn.
message, press 7. To send a reply message, press 8. To save it, press 9.
Now
To
let's
hear
see.
more options,
There's
press
7.
0. Message erased. Next message. Hi, Glendora and Sandy. Happy day before Thanksgiving. Hope you're enjoying it. I hope you enjoy your visit to the Red Robin tomorrow for the nice vegetarian.
That's our friend Sandy Blakeman.
Vegan meal. Looking at their website. Looks like a great place. All right, I'll talk to you
She's
later.
talking about the
Bye,
Red
Glendora.
Robin. She looked it up on the website. It looks like a great place to have Thanksgiving
To
dinner.
erase this message, press 7. To send a reply message, press 8.
Now maybe make sure I get the right one,
To
folks.
hear more options. Message erased. Next message. Hey, Glendora. how you doing? This is Jason from Cablevision. I got your package for Newark, your 4 DVDs. The thing is, I don't have an application just yet. I hope you reach out to the producer, Michael Matthews, so that he can, come and grab the application. So reach out to him as soon as possible, because I can't put you on the schedule for Newark until the application is in with all the correct documentation. So hope all is well. You can give me a call back just to touch base. I'm about to head out another half hour, and have yourself a great Thanksgiving. And I'll see you then. Well, I'll talk to you then.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jason, for finding Michael Matthews for me. But Jason, those programs are not for Newark. They are for Bergen, honey. And Betty Smith has already made that application. Now make sure we get this the right one.
Message erased. End of new messages. First saved voice message. Hi, yes, this message is for Glendora. Good afternoon, it's Bernardo at BronxNet TV. I emailed Robert Jackson on November 17, asking him to forward the Synology application link to Mr. Affiliate so that he could apply for Synology credentials. I also requested an email address for yourself, Ms. Glendora, so that you too could go ahead, if Mr. Affiliate cannot, go ahead and apply for Synology. I just need either yourself or Mr. Affiliate to apply for Synology so that we can give you your username and password, and you can upload a demo of the show, because I currently don't have any footage of the show. I just want to see what it looks like before I'm able to proceed. Please give me a call back at 718-960-1183. You can also email me at bernardo@bronxnet.org. It's Bernardo with BronxNet TV. Also, a direct email address for Ms. Glendora would be helpful. Again, my email is bernardo@bronxnet.org. But all we need is for either Ms. Glendora or Mr. Affiliate to apply for Synology credentials so that you can go ahead and upload the pilot. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
How civilized, Bernardo. Thank you very much. I think Mr. Rob Jackson, kind friend, will help me do that.
To erase this message, press 7.
Now, shall we erase it? Why don't we save that? No. 789.
Message saved. End of messages. To listen to your messages, press 1. To send a message, press 2. Personal option. To turn message waiting indicator on or off, press 1. To change it, greetings.
I can almost see it tonight.
Greeting, press 1. To create your extended absence greeting, press 2. To select a standard greeting with your telephone number, press 1. To select a standard greeting with your name, press 2. Your greeting has been recorded as... Hi there, folks. The Pope has to be very careful he doesn't get the bird flu. He can get it from his cardinals. At the tone, record your greeting. At the end of your greeting, press pound.
Hey folks, you're getting old when everything hurts, and if it doesn't hurt, that means it's not working. And the senior citizen was dazzled by the TV reporter coming to report that she was 100 years old, and she said, well, I don't know what all the fuss is about. All I did was grow old, and it took me a long time to do that.
If you are satisfied with your greeting, press pound. If you would like to re-record your greeting, press star. Personal option. To turn... You have pressed an incorrect key. Personal. Message waiting indicator on. Message waiting indicator...
I don't know if we got it or not. But I did press pound. That was pound. Shall we take it on good luck? We could check it again, folks. Now that's a 1, and that's a dial, and that's...
Please enter your password, then press pound. You have waiting indicator on or off, press 1. To change administrative options, greeting. To change your personal greeting, press 1. Your name has been recorded as...
I can't see it, honey. Okay, well...
If you would like to re-record your name, press star. If you like it the way it is...
Well, we almost did it. You know what the problem is? For me, light blue letters on a white background are very hard to see. I would like to have them be black numerals on a white background. Jesus calls us o'er the tumult of life's wild and restless sea. Day by day his sweet voice sounded, saying, Christian, follow me. So yes, that was Help Others. That was Help Jimmy Talbot, who wants to tell the story and wants to make a record of it and wants you to know what live television was in the early 1950s. And making sure that you get the information if you want it. Thanksgiving 2017, Anno Domini. I was just about to sit down with you, TV audience, and tell you such good news when I get a call that I have to feed the kitty. I have to feed the kitty. I fed her once, I cooked her one breakfast. You love it, don't you? And you want me to open it, don't you? This comes from Italy through Wisconsin, from Vegan Essentials. And it is called Ami, which means I love. And it is vegan cat kibble. And I guess you like the smell of that pretty much, don't you? So let us put it in your canister to keep it fresh. Wait a second. That's a mistake. I didn't know there was some in here. Here you are. Eat up the old one first, honey. This is how you keep mice outside of your house and feed them outdoors so that they don't come into the house, which is sort of a problem. They're cute little things. You have these canisters and your cupboard's full of them. I have about 16 of them. And then you feed the mice outdoors and they don't get into trouble. Okay, shall we begin? Over. There's so much to tell you, I don't know if I can keep it straight. This is God, Meditate Him in Prayer. Morning devotions. What is a meditation? Do you know anybody who has made it? Do you know anybody who has made perfection? Do you know anybody who has made complete selflessness? Do you know anybody who has made helping others 100%? Do you? No? Really? No? Yes, you do. Thanks to you, because of you, this area of the universe has made 100%, has made P perfect. Complete, perfect relationship with the universe at this moment. I wrote it out for you. I was hoping that I wrote it out so that I would say it to you in an orderly fashion. And this is the meditation this morning. After we, wow, it's long. Okay, here it is. Yes, the oneness is here, folks. The allness. Have you done everything that your conscience told you to do? Yes. All of the work is up to date. Everything the conscience said to do is done. You have a pure heart. The heart is pure. This is all thanks to you folks. A 100. 100%. P for perfect. If you're so perfect, why don't you write legibly? But it is because of these morning devotions, and because of talking to you, because of your reciprocity, because of your response. And this is Thanksgiving. And I thank you. I thank you for the good that is doing the world. I thank you for your giving it to other areas of the universe. God, meditate Him in prayer. And because of doing this every morning with you, the endeavor has been brought to a successful conclusion. Because of your feedback. Because of Sandy Sunshine. Blessed assurance. This is the Pinot. This is the apex. You just have to make certain, or what has to be done, it must be made certain that we keep it here, that we stay here. These are affectionate. They want to be with each other. At the moment it is here. Whether we will speculate that it will be here later or in the future, that is adjourned. You sent this area of the universe love, ability, strength, encouragement. Through your minutes of no self, your minutes of transfusion, I thank you and now, let us get down to business and do the agenda as we see it put down by the universe. God, meditate hymn in prayer. What is the hymn? Soft as the voice of an angel, breathing a lesson unheard, hope with a gentle persuasion, whispering her comforting word. Wait till the darkness is over, wait till the tempest is past, hope for the sunshine tomorrow, after the shower is gone. Whispering, whispering hope, oh how well come thy voices, making my heart in its sorrow rejoice, 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 rejoice. Okay, .com, the singing is over. She doesn't like to have me sing. And she makes it quite obvious, doesn't she? God, meditate, hymn, and prayer. My prayer, with all this renewed energy, and this ecstasy, and exhilaration, and exuberance, and ebullience that you have provided in this area of the universe, this area rebounds and sends it back to you. Will we do 2 minutes of no self? Shall we? And send it back to you? Now remember, you can't have zero audio on a TV station. because they'll think something is wrong and they'll run up and turn it off and scramble, and we don't want to cause them that inconvenience. So, let's get our trusty timer. Hello. Zero it, and zero self. Zero evil. Okay, let me go over this again. I am going to send you transfusion to you. 2 minutes of no self. All of my energy and all of my vitality and my love is being at this moment transfused to you. Okay, 5. Alright, it's empty. No self, no evil. We did it. We did it. This is quite a challenge to do this. To go even 5 seconds without thought of yourself. If you're abandoned, profligate, or reprobate, or prodigal. Prodigal? That's the end of prayer. I hope not. And now, the blessings of the day. I want to hear yours. Call me up and tell me. Reader Lily tells me what she did. She's a vegan, strict, true, and organic. And how she went to the market in Brooklyn. Okay, yesterday, Thanksgiving Eve. A glorious time for a couple of hours laying the foundation of the day physically. Taking care of this cute little furry package. And taking care of the Happy House 3. And preparing this body for its work to do Thanksgiving Eve. And then came the spiritual side. And that takes a couple of hours. And talking to you. And keeping us going and going and growing. And then exercise the body, calisthenics, which is now a money-making physical therapy for the insurance companies. Behind in Facebook, so made that up, put up 5 or 6 jokes on Facebook for, let's see, Sunday, Monday we're done, Tuesday and Wednesday. Then telephone. Now there is a great, great overflow of helping others. That's extremely helpful. A lot of it is keeping the Glendora Public Access Television Network flowing. There's always something wrong with that. Right now, we're waiting for Rob Jackson to resolve BronxNet with Bernardo. We think Hartford is all set. We've got good news that Jason in Newark has found Michael Matthews, who will have somebody in his house sign the Cablevision application, and then a chat with Glendora with this message that we think is pretty important will be for the people of Newark. And we will bring them joy. And we will bring the universe joy through them. And I will pay Michael Matthews $50 for doing that, and the member of his household will sign her $50 for doing that. If it's moral, legal, ethical, whatever. If it isn't, we won't. Now, after the telephoning came the in-mail, and that was such a challenge, because here I am all alone, no Gregory to see for me. But I took one, and I actually did it with the help of you, Magnifier, Optima. And I sent out $5 to chimpanzees, keeping the chimpanzees safe, rescuing the chimpanzees from the harm that people do them. And then I took their literature and made another envelope and addressed it to Best Friends in Utah. Best Friends, save them all, animals, and mailed them $5 and mailed them the other one I told you about. And then took a third envelope and was able to address it by magnifying it over there and using a great big pen. And that one was to the Friends of Animals. One of our very best, one of my top 5. Friends of Animals, Mercy for Animals, Vegan Outreach, Compassion Over Killing, and Farm Animals Rights Movement. So I sent them $5. That's a very little amount. I usually send them 100. But it got done. And on the back of each envelope, you put, go vegan. You are paying to agonize animals. And inside is the piggy plea about the poor pigs who are born into a world of filth and cruelty and abuse. And Machio is a chiropractor, I think, in Troy, and he's very assiduous about mailing. I think it's every month. So my back is fine. There's not much I can do for him, but I will pass on his flyers today when we go to the Red Robin for Thanksgiving. Perfect existence. Perfect delight. Visions of rapture now burst on your sight. Angels descending come from above. Echoes of mercy, whispers of love. This is the Friends of Animals. What's this? best friend. We told you about that. Okay. And that's all of the in-mail folks except 2 returned TV shows. And I want to know who returned them and wanted more postage, because I know by my good post office that we send out $1.15, that's the international stamp, for 4 TV shows, 4 discs, and that we sent out 48 of them, and we have sent out as many as 67 of them ever since 2007, and they have not come back. So the postage has to be right. My post office and the 2 post offices that return those don't know how to read the post office computer. But I think we have a way of getting around it. And we'll try that today when we do the in-mail. And then Karen Heck and Jennifer Ayala, I asked them to send me an application in their envelope for Peekskill, Torrington, Yonkers, Wappingers, West Nyack, Norwalk, for the renewal of a chat with Glendora on those Cablevision LT stations. It never came. So finally they did what was a sensible thing in the first place, sent it to me. So today, and then I went through all of the Cablevision applications of what, 20 years? Yeah, 17. And found the addresses of Robert Jackson, Louis Conway, Susan Hayward, Edward Whitney, well, the rest of them. Today, we will send those out in a self-addressed stamped envelope to be sent to Cablevision. We will make it out for them. I will ask my dear people who have been, over the years, among my best friends, and I will ask them to sign, date, and post. And we'll get a chat with Glendora to go for 2 hours on each of those TV stations I mentioned to you, with this very important message, right? Even though you're on top of the world, you have to work, right? Even though you're on top of the world, you have to keep on helping others. So after the telephoning and the mid-mail, go to look at what happened in the year 2016, and I can't find anything that happened on Thanksgiving in 2016, so I assume that it was spent here alone with God, with .com, very happily. And of course it would be vegan. Killing a turkey, slaughtering a turkey, is a pretty bad way to say thank you. After that came the Glendora Vegetarian Club and entering the money that has been spent, and I'll tell you what it is. It's $19,652. Very close. No, it's $19,951. It's within $49 of being $20,000 the Glendora Vegetarian Club has spent in promotion, in announcements, in food, having these dinners, and in getting the announcement into the advertiser, and thank you advertiser for doing it all these years, 4 years coming up to 5. And in the donations, all the donations go under. So what is that figure? Close to 20,000. 19,051. How many hours? Around 850 hours. How many pages in the log? Around 700. So after the Glendora Vegetarian Club came the finances, making sure that a record was made of the money that came in, and none has come in for a long time, and the money that has gone out, and that never stops. Because Paul said in Romans 13:11, for all of us must give an account. And then after that came the think folder, writing down the good things that had happened in Happy House 3 the last day or so, and Rick came and he wants to give me a new toilet. There's a tiny leak. It comes and it goes. It hasn't been leaking for 4 or 5 days. And he found it. It's in the trunk. And it could have easily found. He says, no, I'm going to give you a new toilet next week. I said, but Rick, look, this is good. You know, this isn't bad. No, I'll ask her. And she says, no, but I'm going to get you a new toilet next week. All I want him to do is patch up the little pieces of tile that have come loose because of all the dampness in the water from that leak. That leak has a history. Mace tried to fix it and tried awfully hard. Thank you, Mace. And it failed. And Garrity tried to fix it. They thought it was in the valve. Rick says it isn't in the valve. It's in a separation of the trunk to the bowl or something. So, the next thing is to go through the computer phone. Well, with very dim eyesight and with the grand help of the Optimum or Optilec magnifier, I was able to go through and check that all of the jokes were up there on Twitter, Facebook, and your YouTube. And we bought a boost. You know about a boost on Facebook? You can buy a boost. We bought it for $20, and that brought over 3,000 people saw that post, the joke. Now this is very interesting. Very interesting. We might do more of those, right? And then we saw the email, and we were able to take care of that. And there weren't any messengers, and the weather's 37 degrees, isn't that great for mid-November? And no snow, bare ground. And what comes after that? I tried to find those things, people you may know, because they have to be eliminated. Those blue bars have to be removed. And I came across it once, and I never could find it again. And I looked at all of the notifications. This takes about an hour. Now, honey, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is all that time on that computer phone worth it? For one thing, you have to keep up with it every day. Okay, what was the next thing? Glendora, pass it on. That is all in shape. We've got you up to date on that. All of the important things that have crossed his desk have been passed on to you. Then came the museum, and you didn't do that. You should have written in the museum what Gregory did Tuesday. And the Glendora Public Access Television Network. We've gone over that. Eating? Yes. Apple, raisins, banana. You didn't drink your orange juice. Bad. How many glasses of water? I made it to about 4. Is that so? Thank you. Thank you. That means somebody saw the joke on Facebook and liked it. I think that's what it means. So what time is it when you finish this? 10 minutes to midnight. What time did you get up? 6:35, eh? Energy gone? Definitely. Time to reconstitute? Yes. Starting about 12:15. Oh no. The nut fruit shake. Had to do that. And the cereal. It wasn't hot cereal. It was Triscuits. And what'd you have from vegetarian meat and potatoes? Just potatoes. Main potatoes. Sauteed. The day was complete. On top of the world. God, meditate Him in prayer. We've done that. Now we will go over to, we have to turn on all these lights so that the magnifier can be seen. And we'll do the Bible passage. And it's a very good one. Jesus calls us for the tumult of life's wild and restless sea. Day by day His sweet voice sounded, saying, Christian, follow me. That's all helping others calls you for the tumult of life's wild and restless sea. Day by day its sweet voice soundeth, saying, Christian, saying everybody, follow me. Okay, turn the camera to the south, to the east. Alrighty. The new people upstairs have a thumper. Thumper. I don't know why there has to be so much thumping. Now, this was 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 14. And I think it is a knockout. I think it's really stimulating. Here, 2 Corinthians. That's verse 7, that's chapter 7, go to chapter 8. Go find 14. Here we are. But by an equality. This word equality is very well used here. It's what you and I call oneness. Listen to this. By an equality. I can't help you now, Gloria. By an equality that now, at this time, your abundance, see, our abundance? Your abundance may be a supply. Isn't this beautiful? What a great writer. And he's writing in Hebrew or in Greek and what? That your abundance, folks, may be a supply. And I think you know what's coming next. For but by an equality that now, at this time, your abundance may be a supply for their want. Abundance, equality, abundance, supply, want. That their abundance also may be an equality. No, that their abundance also may be a supply for your want. That there may be equality. Great, Paul. Good for you. Equality, abundance, want, supply. That's what we've been saying now for years, isn't it? We've said this for years. It's the oneness. And that's what brought this area of the universe to the pinnacle, to the apex, was what you did for another area. See, it all fits together. I see it as perfect. I see it as perfect. This is a perfect world. I am really excited. And after the Bible comes what? The words. Now let's mark this. I don't want to lose track of that. The word is a stimulator too. We're talking about the word ability. Let me ask you this. Do you have the facilities to be one with the universe through helping others? Do you have the facilities to do that? Do you have the force to do that? Do you have the faculty to do that? Can you sustain that? Do you have the competence to do it? The caliber? The capability? The capacity? The efficiency? The sufficiency? The skill? The strength? The talent? Or do you have impotence, inability, ineptitude? That is the definition of the word able. Able. The ability or state. No, that's the definition of the word ability. The ability is the state or the quality of being able. Are we able? It is the power to perform physically, spiritually, morally, intellectually, spiritually. It is
That's new.
That's gorgeous. Wow. Oh, wow.
This is the.
Yes,
the-
yes. Yes, that's what I mean, the leaves are so much thicker because they're succulent, right?
Yeah.
This is fun. Yeah, such a screen from. I'm sorry. I kill them all by now. Have you ever seen the donkey tail? Have you ever gone to Hudson, New York? You ever see the one in the store down? It's like on Fifth Street. Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
That thing is like 100 and something years old.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes the hikers.
This one, I started that one. It was like that.
Oh, okay. All right, well, it certainly has done well.
Yeah. And that's only been. Oh God, I guess it's been a while.
10 years?
Not quite, maybe 7.
They're so cute. They really are.
Yeah.
And they're just so weird. You know, they're just unusual little things. Very nice. How goes the B&B business?
Not too bad.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not as good as last year, but
No?
yeah, it's all right.
No.
Yeah.
So pretty in here. Oh, you have another one over here. Lenny, did you see all the plants behind you?
No,
You want me to take you for a little tour?
no.
No, you're busy looking at the fire, huh? Oh, I just love this fireplace.
I do too.
It's just spectacular. Wonder who built it.
Yeah. Do you know the history of the house?
I don't. No, but I bet Jeff does. Hi. I'll open the door for you. How you doing? I'm good. Thanksgiving. They're in the kitchen-ish.
I like how they're building a little barn too. Another one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
What is Leave It to Beaver? I can't see anything until I see this. I love your hair.
Away from humanity. Yeah. Right on.
For vegans, but I really think vegans are a lot. Did you go to the march in New York City? I was gonna say, I mean, that's already my recognized. Otherwise, we're all just together. It was animal rights. It's amazing. It was the animal rights march. Otherwise, we're always together. Did you usually recognize her?
Fire.
Based on, people working everything, keep salaries.
I mean, everybody in that movie is so good. Like the characters are all so good. Like Regina King, who plays she is. Oh, it's a comedy. Okay.
Did you like it? It's a little, it's a part of it.
I just tell you know so so. Oh, I never call. I'll do that.
Yeah, rescue we used to volunteer with would get cats from New York City shelters. Let's not talk about that. Let's not go into detail. Yeah, it's not like
I'm sorry. I keep saying
but she, but the cats that she got
Andy,
there.
Andy sure you
Not a lot, some of them. But just, it gave me insight into how.
Yes, it is. They flower really nicely too, like white and pink flowers.
We're getting back to
Yeah.
that.
And I've had this for a while.
Cats are being
Really?
The people have all grabbed their plates and they're going out and loading them and come back to the tables and eat. The first one's back with full plates. Oh, it smells good, folks. Mmm. Now this is all vegan. I think they even object to vegetarian. This is a bed and breakfast. Where is it? Okay. The state of New York, Rensselaer County, very southern part. Route 20 goes through here. Route 20 starts in Boston and goes all the way to Oregon. It's east of Pittsfield, east of Lebanon Mountain, east of West Lebanon. No, it's east of Nassau. No, it's west of Pittsfield and west of West Lebanon, west of the Berkshires, and it's east of Albany. The route from Springfield to Pittsfield to Albany. I have fasted for this. I haven't eaten since yesterday. What time is it? About 2:30? I talked to Lori, who is a photographer of the Albany Times-Union newspaper.
So I was thinking about you guys the other day. I was on Amazon. And you probably saw me, there's these gloves for bike riders, and they have mirrors on them. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, and there's adjustable, so it's
Yes, darling.
Yeah, I think that might have been the first time.
Here you go, Glenn, here's some silverware.
Thank you.
Those are vegan deviled eggs, Glendora. What do you think of that?
Really?
I think that's really interesting, and I forgot gravy.
Ah, you can't forget the gravy.
Tony, do you know anything about the history of this building?
I do not. It used to be.
And I'm like, you should see.
That's a stuffed shell. It was stuffed with vegan cheese. And then you said this was Brussels sprouts. And this is what, Madeline?
Which one, honey?
That one right there?
What's she looking at?
The onions.
Oh, that's onions with a red currant glaze.
Oh, yeah.
Daddy has the pictures.
And we think this is tofurkey.
That's the
And
first time I've ever
Madeline,
made
do
it.
you know what this is, honey? Right here? This one right here?
Which one, Glenny?
That one right there?
What do you want to do?
Oh, it's stuffing.
That's stuffing.
You like this stuff? There's a pumpkin spice drink with almond milk. If you like, there's I think eggnog. There's apple cider, coffee. Team, do you have a drink? Yeah. You do want one or have
What do you do?
Have one. Do you want one?
Right, so
Some vegan food.
all vegan, of
so
course.
he
Green bean
He
casserole,
doesn't walk anymore. He just kind of hangs out
peanut,
on his
sweet
blanket.
potato,
You know,
African
I pick
stew,
him up, I put him outside,
cornbread,
he does his
sweet
business,
potato
and then
mac
he
and
comes back in.
cheese,
He's really old.
I think my
salad,
But he kind of walks.
deviled
He
egg,
does.
you've got to see
Something
this,
bad happening, like he's falling off his blanket.
vegan deviled egg,
So at the very last
3 bean
minute,
salad,
he
Brussels
was
sprouts,
and they got pretty dark. Well,
Gardein turkey roast,
mac and cheese.
But surprisingly,
I said the
not
mac
burnt.
and cheese, stuffed shells with ricotta, cheese, and spinach,
Yeah.
pearl
I think
onion,
onions are.
Is it all
Salad.
vegan, honey?
all of it's vegan.
It's all vegan.
Yes, everything here is vegan. That's
Yeah, well,
right.
onions are, they have to be cooked because they're disgusting raw. People eat them all the time. I don't get it. Raw onions, ugh.
I mean, I know people that eat them.
Madeline, their plates are much bigger than mine.
Well, Glenny,
You get a chance to do the maintenance on it. It's pretty bad shape. A lot of things needed fixing on it. So.
And then what happened?
Then we got it, and now I've been working on it ever since.
How long have you guys been here?
Since
When did you take over?
We got this place in 2008.
2008? Boy, that's quite a while ago, isn't it?
Yeah. Slowly working on it, building animal barns. In a second, what kind is it? What's in it?
It has Gardein beef, actually.
Veggie
Cheese beef.
gravy.
A lot of tofu regatta with like some spices and Gardein
Home
beef,
baked bread.
a lot of cheese. Like nothing necessarily healthy. Has she been doing the
That sounds really good.
I kind of forgot too. Because I don't think I've been getting my penny saver.
no?
Yeah.
Lisa, you made the gravy?
What are you eating, Tony? What is that?
Actually, it's the Gardein
It is
gravy
vegan
that came with
African sweet
That
potato
much?
came
stew.
with the.
It's a very
Yeah, because we
tasty.
made a few loaves.
Oh, you did?
But
Okay.
then I added mushrooms and onions and celery, so I added some veggies to it.
I'm always looking for, oh, that's tasty. It's spicy. I mean,
What's that? Her veggies?
yeah. I'm always looking for a gravy recipe because I can't make it right. It doesn't come out right.
So many dirty dishes here. Oh, is it cold?
It is cold. Now, all my fingers are still intact though. It is chilly out there. Reminded me how warm I was in here.
Yeah, I was just gonna text Andrew probably after.
Yeah, like I honestly.
So full.
This is Glenny
No, I just drank it.
in her polar bear suit. Tip your head down, Glenn. Tip your head down. There he is. Okay.
Thank you.
Not blocking. Can you say, Alexa, take the picture?
Oh my gosh.
Do you need to zoom in on your phone? Or is that good?
I remember your face in those ones.
Yeah, because I could hear it like making noise when I was taking the pictures. No, it's not a good thing. All right, ready, everybody?
Yeah.
It's always so weird
How
when
did it
Courtney
turn out?
takes the
Turn out.
picture.
Did it go already? Oh, I didn't know that.
Look at that.
Don't know. It looked like all right.
Yay! $20 on Amazon. Best $20.
I thought you were gonna say like $20. Getting up now.
No.
I'll help you. So we're gonna clear out the tables, and then in like 15 minutes or so, we'll start the movie for anyone who's staying for the It's so nice to meet you.
That's the Town Junior photographer there.
And are you in the area too? Oh, really? Okay.
We should leave the couch
Our event's probably, yeah. Okay, you have my permission.
Town Junior photographer.
It's too hot.
Been with him 22 years.
I'm her sister, Tina. Nice to meet you. Unfortunately, I have to go. We're going to visit my boyfriend's family, but
Well, if I find it, it'll tell me this.
recording okay?
No, yeah, it's fine. It's
Okay, thank you for that.
yeah, it doesn't. I'm not seeing how much recording space there is,
Yeah.
but
Would you go upstairs and see if there's any in mail? I hope not.
yeah, sure, I'll go check. All right.
Is your
yeah.
phone over there okay?
Yeah, it's charging. It's still plugged in, and just
I mean, is it doing the things that you wanted it to do?
yeah. Yeah, it looks fine. Yep, it's still uploading. It's all good. So I have to be at dinner with my family at 6. I just want to give you a heads up.
Okay,
So I probably have to leave at like 5:40 or so.
What time is it now?
4:25. So
Okay.
we still got a little while. Yeah,
What
it's
do you
not
got, an hour?
yeah, I got more than an hour. I got like an hour
pull
and
your
10
chair
hours.
over here. And are you recording, I hope?
Yeah, I turned on the recorder already. Yeah.
All right.
Actually, I don't even need this
You
one.
can use this chair, baby.
I got it. Yeah, exactly.
No.
It's just less moving around.
When you left me, come over closer now because it's a... When you left me in September,
Yeah.
you had a job with Kaplan?
That didn't end up panning out.
It did not.
No, because the other job I have is more important.
So
Both.
the Kaplan thing didn't work?
No. I stayed like in the process of trying to get hired for a while, just so I could figure everything out. But like, it turned the way that it worked out, it just didn't end up working with my schedule. Cause like, my research job, I'm working in mostly weekday evenings. I work from like I'm definitely working from 2 to 6:30 Monday through Thursday.
Oh.
And like I usually come in earlier than that and do more work before that, but that time I have to be available for because we're doing something that we're going to a school and working with kids in an after school program. So I have to be available at those times for that. Like so and all of the classes that Kaplan has were basically started at 6 or 7 on those nights. And I wouldn't have time. I would get back from that job, like at maybe 6:30.
No, that's no good.
Exactly. So
that's a ruined life.
Yeah.
Tell them what Kaplan does.
Tutoring for standardized testing, like the GRE, the SAT, the ACT, that kind of stuff.
Wait a second. Tell them what GRE is, dear.
It's I don't remember what the R stands for, but it's the graduate
record examination.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's so you know.
You've only taken it how many times?
I only took it once. It's kind of like the SAT, but for grad school. It's similar.
Scholastic aptitude test.
Yeah. It's the test that you take that's like vaguely important, but not a deal breaker for applying to grad schools. Just how like with the SAT, if you have a really good score, that's helpful. And if you have a really bad score, that's bad. But if you're in a specific certain range, it's not going to be the deciding factor for you. Yeah. So I'm in the same boat. Where
now tell the people what that research project is.
The one I'm currently working on?
Yeah.
So we're using video games. Well, in a nutshell, we're using video games and measuring how kids exercise when we play them. Because they're special video games. They're not like sit down and use a controller kind of games. They're like there's a special camera that you put on the TV, and the games that you play, it has you move your body to play them. So you have to like move around. You're not just like laying around, sitting there playing video games with a controller just like this, laying around being lazy. Like you have to move, and like some of these games are really tiring. Like you get tired. So we're doing research into what gets kids to exercise more when they're playing these games. We're currently looking at narrative, like having a story that goes along with the games that they're playing. Like, you know, are you just playing these games, or like, is there, like, in the context of this story, are the games you're playing, like, there for a reason? You know?
Example?
So, you know, just, do you play a game where you pretend to run on top of a bus, and jumping over stuff, and, like, you know, or running, and, you know, avoiding obstacles, just to play the game? Or is that game, you're playing it because there's a story, and the story has you need to train on like a device.
Oh.
Like, you know, and then when you train on the device, you get stronger and can move on to the next part of the story, kind of thing.
Now, what's the name of the PhD?
Amy Lou, Dr. Amy Lou.
Dr. Amy Lou.
Yeah.
And from where did she get her PhD?
I don't remember. Northwestern, I think.
Northwestern to Northeastern.
It's Northwestern, or I mean, from what I remember, it's like a good school. Like she comes
And
from.
who gave her the grant?
The National Institute of Health.
National Institute of Health.
From what I think, I haven't. I'm not on like the part of the team that works out like funding and grants and stuff like that. I do like a lot of the data work and run the experiments.
And you get paid $15 an hour?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the most like.
How long is this going to last?
At least through the spring. Like I have the spring all set up and I'm good to go. Like.
Well, won't that look very good on your?
Yes, it should.
On your resume when you apply for graduate school for a PhD fellowship?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I really think it should. Like,
aren't you blessed?
Yeah, I really like the job. Yeah, exactly. It
came through just in time. You needed that.
I did. Yeah.
Well, how did you find out about it? Your mother found about it.
So they were looking for a coordinator who's like the person who like organizes everything in the lab. You know, like calls the parents and sets up the experiments and like makes sure that we have all of our stuff ordered that we need, all the supplies we need, scheduling, making sure that people have like meetings set aside so that they can teach each other how to do stuff that everyone needs to know how to do. So yeah, that's the coordinator position. But they were looking for someone who had like more experience tonight, like in that specific realm than I did. So they hired somebody else for that, but I didn't know at that time they were also hiring research assistants. And I saw that, and I went back and I applied to be a research assistant, and then they like definitely they really wanted me for that. So and it definitely makes sense because I really like our research coordinator. She's like really good at it. She's super organized. She like keeps everything running as smoothly as possible, and I think she does a better job of it than I would have been able to do. So I think overall it worked out really well. Like I'm really like satisfied with how. Yeah.
Now, how do you know you will have 2 weeks off at Christmas time?
Since we are a university research lab, we have a university schedule.
Okay.
So like I already asked like, hey, is it all right if I'm I'm probably coming home somewhere around like the 23rd. Or so, and I'm leaving somewhere between January like 3rd and 6th. So I'll be here for a week and a half to 2 weeks. Yeah.
So you're going to work for Glendora?
Yeah, I'll be able to come and work with you for at least a few days.
Do you have any other jobs?
No, I just have the research job, but I'm working high 20s hours per week usually. I'm usually working between 25 and 30 hours a week. Yeah. So it's not like full time, but it's more than standard half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. Anything else you want to tell me about your work?
So I am still doing some work with people from my old laboratory.
Oh, yes. You're undergraduate.
Yeah. Because we had a couple projects that I was working on that we didn't finish. So I'm going back and like every once in a while I'm meeting with them and we make a little bit of progress and I work on it in some of my spare time. That's good, and that will look good on your resume. Yeah.
When are you going to start applying for graduate school?
I am currently in an application cycle right now. I'm currently applying to a couple of schools. I still need to finish my applications and send them out, but that'll be sometime early next week, I think.
Oh, you think that soon?
Yeah.
My goodness, it's only November.
Yeah. I mean, well, they're due in December.
They are?
Yeah.
I thought they were due in February.
No. So they're due in December. Oh. They review them, and if they want to interview you, you go in January or February. And then if you get an interview, then then you stay on in the decision cycle, and then find out in April.
This is good. Would you rather not say what the schools are?
I don't mind. I mean,
okay, go ahead.
So it's my top choice is University of Washington.
Where's that? Washington?
Seattle. That's the one in Seattle.
Cheapers.
Yeah. There's also.
Thanks for staying so close to home.
Then there's University of New Mexico.
Oh.
University of Arizona.
Oh.
University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. University of Nebraska, Lincoln's campus, which is near Omaha. and
You're hardly even this side of the Mississippi.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's good. These are the schools that like are funded for these are the schools that have programs that will like make it so that I don't need to pay $50,000 a year to get to where I will be given like $15,000 like of a stipend and also not have to pay anything.
Yeah, that's right. You've
Yeah.
been very good about that.
Yeah.
You refuse to get into debt.
Yeah, it's if I have to wait an extra year, that's not a big deal. Like I'm absolutely taking the road that makes it so I don't need to go into debt. Like,
Sure.
I mean.
Did we finish with the schools?
Yeah,
finished
there's
them all?
6. Yeah, Washington, Nebraska, New Mexico, Arizona, Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Duke. That's the last one.
Oh, Duke's the only one
Duke
this side of the Mississippi?
Yeah, yeah.
Michigan. And if you get a fellowship, you'll be home at Thanksgiving and Christmas as always?
I think so. I probably for shorter periods of time, probably not for 2 weeks at a time. Although maybe the first year I'd be home for a long time around Christmas, because from what I've understood, been led to understand, the first year of a PhD program is vaguely similar to like an undergraduate or like master's degree kind of schedule, where you like do get a couple week breaks between semesters. So if I were to get in, then I would probably have for at least the first year a schedule vaguely resembling my current one. But I don't know after if I were to go in fall of 2018, if I were to get in like this cycle and then go to a school, and then fall of 2018 would be my first semester. Next winter would be the same, I think.
Yeah.
But then like every year after that, I'm like less sure of what happens.
Then the prospect of your working for Chatwood Glendora, like as you have, will
I'm just
be
not.
the same?
Yeah. It'll be for
Sort of the
at
same.
least for the first year. I think it would be pretty
Okay, so
yeah.
we don't have to worry beyond
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
Now let me.
And I likely won't even get in this year. So.
Now I get the impression that you really are no longer a resident of Valatia.
Yeah, I don't really feel as much like it anymore. I mean, it's definitely still like home in a way, but it's like
Visiting home.
It's my family home. It's not my
That's right. It's not living home. It's visiting home.
Yeah.
And it looks like you have fled the nest, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, there's aren't really a lot of opportunities for me around this area.
Okay.
It's just how it is. Like, I just can't get the experience that I need to do like the programs that I would really want to do most in the capital region.
Then it would be reasonable for me to find somebody here to take care of the museum and to take care of the dye instruction.
I think having another person on board who's closer.
Somebody who lives in the area.
I think it would be helpful. Yeah.
That'd be all right with you?
Yeah.
You can still help, but let them be the main person to take care of everything.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. I mean, because if I am only home for a couple weeks out of the year, that might not be getting as much attention as you would like it. So.
Well, it
someone
isn't
who I
that,
could
it's the
coordinate
distance, it's geography.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
it's a matter of geography.
That just makes it hard to get back here.
No, I mean, it just isn't viable. It just isn't viable.
Yeah.
Okay, then it's all right with you.
I mean, it's your decision in the end, but yeah, I'm.
Yeah, well, you can always help, but we really need somebody here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, would you get that, you said it was compassion overkilling that came in?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see.
Would you sort of browse that for the
There
folks?
might only be about 10 more minutes of footage on the SD card, but I think we're still good for now.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, we're about a half an hour in, and I think it said we had 42 minutes. So
Okay,
I think
will
we have
that
at
tell
least.
us when he goes off?
The red dot will go away. All right. So what do you want me to go for?
Just
in here?
browse it for
Okay.
the folks. Pass on the valuable information is what you want.
All right.
Oh, that's not compassion over killing. That's mercy. for
Compassionate
animals.
living. Oh yeah, no. So this is one. So there's a movie on Netflix called like I think Okja or Okja or Akya something OKJA, something along those lines. And but anyway, it's about like this little girl who like meets this like animal in the woods, and it's this really weird, like animal that's, it's fictional. It doesn't like exist in the real world, but like she meets it, and it's kind of like a little bit like a cow or like a pig or elephant thing. And I haven't seen the movie myself, but basically the movie is about people trying to factory farm the animal, and her like making it, like saving it from that, like, because it's like her friend.
Wonderful.
And like so there's an interview with the director of that movie.
Do you know who did it? Who put it out?
It's so Netflix, I think, partially funded it, but the director is named Bong Joon-ho. He is I think I've heard that he might be well known. Let me see if I can find something about him in here.
This is Mercy for Animals.
Okay. So yeah, they talk about like movies that like that have had similar effects. Like the movie Babe with like the pig, or like Charlotte's Web. That kind of stuff. Like they talk a little bit about that. About like movies that have introduced kids to the idea of showing empathy and all that kind of stuff.
Of course.
Yeah. So.
All that great emotion.
All right. So. So it's captivated audience and won hearts. Nominated for an award at the Cannes Film Festival, the film has received widespread praise from critics and viewers.
OKJA, you mean?
Okay, yeah, I'm still not sure how to pronounce it. So, director Bong Joon-ho's ingenious storytelling has gifted us with a piece of art that makes viewers laugh, cry, and feel empathy for animals. So then they have an interview with him. So he's from South Korea. So how did you come up with the story for the movie? And he says, while driving in Seoul in 2010, an image of an extremely gigantic animal, even bigger than an elephant, just appeared in my mind. But instead of being threatening, she was quite shy and introverted and a bit melancholy. I wondered, why is she sad? Who would want to harm her? Why is she so large? Size is often connected to a product's commercial value, as in super salmon. So it's naturally led to me to think about the food industry and how we often see animals in two categories, food and not food. So the story began with developing around those ideas.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then he goes into about developing the girl's friendship with the animal, what countries it's come out in, what he wants people to take away from the movie.
Yeah.
So like it does, I hope people come away with more awareness of how their food is made, is one of his big messages that he wants people to take away from the movie. So
this is a big step.
Yeah, it's like there's like a lot of really famous actors in it too. There's let's see, we got Tilda Swinton, who I don't know if you are up to date with modern actors, but Tilda Swinton is a very big name. Jake Gyllenhaal is a really big name. And then there's a lot of other famous people have commented on it. Josh Groban is like a singer who's pretty well known, and he's commenting that he really liked it, that kind of thing. Yeah. Let's see. So that's about that movie. Let's see what else is there.
Mercy for Animals. Nathan Runkle started out with a camera and going into these places and showing what's happening to these darling little creatures that I love, whom I love.
Alright, so some of the Brazilian Mercy for Animals team is starting to do slaughterhouse undercover stuff. So the